Good morning, students. This is Murthy sir. In the earlier classes, we discussed about plant tissues. Today, we will learn about animal tissues. Just like plant tissues, animal tissues also basically four types are there. They are epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. In these four types of animal tissues, connective tissue, many types are there. A tissue is a group of cells which are similar in structure and function. Here you can see the four types of animal tissues: connective tissue, epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. As animals and humans are more advanced than plants in their organization, we will find more complexity in animal tissues than plant tissues. That's why here in connective tissue many types are there. So you will observe more complexity in animal tissues when we compare with plant tissues. First, let us see epithelial tissue. In this, basically four types are there: simple squamous epithelium, stratified squamous epithelium, columnar epithelium, and cuboidal epithelium. So here you can see those four pictures. Students, first let us see simple squamous epithelium. It is thin and flat in shape. It is seen in lining of mouth, esophagus, lining of blood vessels, lung alveoli. Esophagus is food pipe, Alveoli or air sacs present in lungs. So in these parts of the body, simple squamous epithelium is present. Earlier you have seen one activity observing the cheek cells in mouth. We have to scrape the inner lining of mouth, and that we have to observe in microscope, cheek cells. So that is simple squamous epithelium. You can see here flat type of cells are present. Stratified squamous epithelium has multiple layers of cells. It is seen in our skin. So our skin is stratified squamous epithelium. Skin is one important organ which protects the whole internal organs, and also it's a sense organ. The organ system associated with our skin is integumentary system. Here you can see multiple layers of cells in stratified squamous epithelium. The next one is cuboidal epithelium. Based on their shape, they named like that. The shape of cells, the lining of organs or tubules, there it is present, and it basically provides mechanical support. The inner lining of organs or tubules. Friends, tubules we will observe when we study the structure of kidneys. Ureters are tube-like structures, and nephrons are called uriniferous tubules. This picture, it shows cuboidal epithelium. So you can see the cube-shaped cells there. Columnar epithelium is present in the inner lining of small intestine. It allows movement of materials. So the inner lining of small intestine, columnar epithelium is present. The cells will be of that shape. And the inner lining of small intestine, many villi will be there, which are very important for absorption of food material. You can see here columnar epithelium. The shape of the cells you just observe. Now we will move on to muscular tissue. In a human body, around 600 muscles are there in different organs of the body. And these muscles basically they work by contraction and relaxation. Friends, in this picture, you can observe the three types of muscular tissue: smooth muscles, skeletal muscles, and cardiac muscles. Skeletal muscles are voluntary muscles which are attached to bones. They help in body movement. These muscles contain alternate bands or striations. These muscles are long, cylindrical, unbranched, and multinucleated. So more number of nuclei will be there in these cells. Voluntary muscles, it means the movement happens with our knowledge or with our will. Students, in your previous classes you learnt the movement of our hands happens by the contraction and relaxation of two muscles, biceps and triceps. In this picture you can observe the structure of skeletal muscles or striated muscles. These are voluntary muscles. Smooth muscles are involuntary. They are present in alimentary canal, means the digestive canal, blood vessels, iris, it is a part of the eye, uterus, it is a part of female reproductive system, bronchi of lungs. These cells are spindle shaped and uninucleated. Students, smooth muscles, they are involuntary. It means they work without our knowledge or will. When we are undergoing deep rest, at that time also they keep on doing their function, but we are not aware of that. Here you can see the structure of smooth muscles, spindle shaped. Both ends are narrow. In the middle it is somewhat broad. And these are uninucleated cells. Each cell contains a single nucleus. The contraction and relaxation of blood vessels, the movement of food in foot canal, it happens because of peristaltic movements. So all this happens with the help of smooth muscles. Students, just like smooth muscles, cardiac muscles are also involuntary. Cardiac word is related to heart. The pumping action of heart is because of cardiac muscles. These cells are cylindrical in shape, branched. Just like skeletal muscles, they are striated, and just like smooth muscles, they are uninucleated. Here you can see the picture of cardiac muscles. You know, heart continuously it works since birth to death. When we are in deep rest also, the heart performs its action. That important, the vital function of pumping blood to different cells of the body. The contraction phase of the heart is called systole and the relaxation phase of the heart is called diastole. These two together form the heartbeat. And because of this, the blood is pumped to different cells of the body. Students, now we will move on to nervous tissue. The human nervous system contains 86 billion neurons or nerve cells. The central nervous system, it contains brain and spinal cord with the associated sensory and motor nerves. Nerve cells are specialized cells. They are elongated and uninucleated. They contain dendrites, axon, nerve terminals. They carry messages very fast. In fraction of seconds, the messages pass from one neuron to another neuron. It's a very complex network. Nerve cells, they receive information or messages through dendrites. The cell body or cyton, it analyzes the information and it gives response through axon. And this nerve cell is connected to another nerve cell through nerve terminals. And in between one neuron and another neuron, synapse will be there, a small gap. There, neurotransmitters are present. Here you can see the structure of neuron or nerve cell. Many dendrites are there surrounding the main cell body or cyton, and a long extended structure. It is axon, and this axon contains myelin sheath. It's a fatty material. It is insulation. When the electric impulse or the nerve impulse, when it passes through the axon, it will not deviate sideways because of the insulation. That myelin sheath is fatty material. It is formed from Schwann cells. And nerve terminals, they are connected to dendrites of another neuron. So here, the cyton or cell body, it receives messages or information through dendrites. After analyzing that, it gives response through axon. And this axon leads to nerve terminals, and the nerve terminals are connected to another neuron. Like that, the information passes very fast in fraction of seconds. It happens because of electrical impulses. Students, here you can see the structure of human brain. The brain contains mainly three parts: cerebral hemispheres. Two cerebral hemispheres will be there, right one and left one. Cerebellum and medulla oblongata. It is called brain stem. Cerebral hemispheres, they are very vital for thinking, imagination, reasoning, interpretation, memory. All these intellectual faculties are done by cerebral hemispheres. Friends, here you can see the structure of human heart. So this heart contains cardiac muscles because of the alternate contraction and relaxation of cardiac muscles, systole and diastole. The heart is able to pump blood continuously, and this blood reaches the different cells, and the blood carries oxygen and glucose. Students, the human circulatory system is called double circulatory system. One circulation happens between heart and lungs, it is called pulmonary circulation. And the second circulation happens between heart and other body parts, it is called systemic circulation.